Hello and good evening, students, and welcome to another session of the daily quiz presented to you by BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. So, here is our first question. How many of the following statements are true regarding dragon fruit, which is also known as kamalam? It is a native fruit of Southeast Asian countries like Thailand and Malaysia. It is a perennial cactus species. India does not produce this fruit and it is entirely imported from Southeast Asia. Now, because its name is dragon fruit and we associate dragon mainly with the Oriental world, that is China and Southeast Asia, so many people think that this fruit belongs to that area. It is a native of that area. However, that is not true. It is a native of Mexico, Central and South American countries. So, it was introduced from there to the Southeast Asian countries by the colonial powers. Also, why is this fruit important? Because recently it has been included under the Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture. And UPSC has a pattern of asking questions about some fruits, some crops, giving the statements regarding what are their growth needs, what type of plants are these. So that is why, because this crop has been mentioned separately in a PIB article, it becomes important for us to understand this crop. Now, dragon fruit, it is a perennial cacti species. That is, it does not shed itself or it does not die out throughout the year. In India, it is being grown in around 3,000 hectares all across the country, mainly across the states of Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Mizoram and Nagaland. However, by including that under the MIDH program, we want to expand its growth area to 50,000 hectares. Right now, we are mainly dependent upon imports of these fruits, even though we are growing it, but we want to eliminate those imports and become self-sufficient in these fruits. Now also note that this import of kamalam or the dragon fruit, it started during 2017 with a quantity of 327 tons, which has increased to 15,491 tons by the year 2021. So out of these, this is a wrong statement. It is a native of Mexico, South and Central America. This is true. And this is false because India does produce it, however, we are not self-sufficient. So our correct answer here is A. Now the next question, which of the following statements are true regarding the Nagar 1 yojana? It is being implemented by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. It utilizes the Campa funds for the development of Nagar 1s and Nagar Vatikas. It plans to increase the green cover in not just urban but also the peri-urban areas. Now, according to an answer given by our Minister of State for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, he said that various steps are being undertaken in India to increase our green cover. Under those steps is the Nagar 1 yojana, which is being implemented by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So when we talk about it, because it has the word Nagar or urban areas or the city or the town, so that's why many people might get confused that it is being implemented by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, but that's not true. Moreover, it has been implemented since the year 2000 up until the year 2024-25. Now, under this scheme, the CAMPA or Compensatory Afforestation Funds, they will be used to increase the number of green spaces within the urban as well as the peri-urban areas. So, what are peri-urban areas? They are the areas surrounding the core urban areas. So, this is urban area, this is peri-urban area. The scheme will be implemented in both these areas. So out of these, this is wrong, this is correct and this is correct. So our correct answer over here is B. The third question is about Malacca Strait. Which of the following countries are included in the basin of the Malacca Strait? Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei, Singapore, Thailand. Now, India has started making a naval base, a grand holistic naval base at the Great Nicobar Islands. Now we are trying to establish this base in order to counter the increased presence of China in the Indian Ocean region. Now this base is very close to the Malacca Strait, and why is Malacca Strait so important for China is because 65% of its oil imports, they come through this particular channel. And to check China's increased influence in the area, India needs to increase its presence around this particular strait. Now this strait, it has 4 basin countries. You can see it goes on from here till here. Here is Thailand, then we have Malaysia, we have Singapore, and we have Indonesia. Brunei is over here and it is not one of the basin countries. Now against Malacca Strait, China has tried to propose creation of another artificial strait through Thailand. In the comments, can you name that particular project? So out of these, this is correct, this and this. So our correct answer over here is C. Now the fourth question, identify the correct statements. The Archaeological Survey of India takes part in both domestic and overseas heritage restoration on the behalf of Government of India. The water heritage sites are declared by the ASI Archaeological Survey of India under the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act 1958. Now there was an article in the Hindu which talked about how democracy is under threat in Cambodia. In that particular article, there was also a mention about restoration of Hindu sites in Cambodia, and one of that site is the Angkor Wat temple. Now this temple, which is a 12th century site, it is being restored by India through the Archaeological Survey of India. Moreover, recently 75 water heritage sites were identified by the Ministry of Jal Shakti. Now these water heritage sites, please note that it is given over here. There is no provision under this particular act to declare water heritage sites under the Archaeological Survey of India. However, the Ministry of Jal Shakti, it constituted a separate committee to identify such sites in reference to 75 years of Indian independence. We are celebrating the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and underneath that we have identified these 75 sites. Now these sites, they were recommended through various agencies, be it states, union territories, central agencies, also the NGOs and the general public. And all these sites, they have been named under the Jal Itihas sub-portal of the Indian WRIS portal. Also note that there is no central funding for the maintenance of these sites as of now. So out of these, this is a correct statement. Yes, ASI is involved in both domestic and overseas heritage restoration. This, however, is incorrect because it is not declared under this particular act. It has been declared independently. So the correct answer is A. Now we come to a PYQ which was asked in the year 2019. With reference to communication technologies, what are the differences between LTE, long-term evolution, and VoLTE, that is voice over long-term evolution? LTE is commonly marketed as 3G and VoLTE is commonly marketed as advanced 3G. LTE is data only technology while VoLTE is voice only technology. Now LTE or long-term evolution, it is a series of 4G networks. So it is a 4G technology and not a 3G technology. So this statement is incorrect. Now under LTE, the infrastructure of the telecom players, it allows only the transmission of data, while the voice calls, they are routed through the older 2G or 3G networks. So LTE is data only, that is perfectly correct. However, VoLTE, which is a technology update to the LTE protocol used by the mobile phone networks, it is both data and a voice technology. So this part is incorrect. So this is also an incorrect statement, and so our correct answer is D. Now we come to the fact of the day, which is about the MSME lean scheme. Now the Prime Minister of India, he has shared the link of the MSME lean scheme on 13th March 2023. Now the lean scheme, it was launched in order to increase the global competitiveness of the MSMEs of the country by improving the quality, the productivity, performance and the capability to change the mindsets of the manufacturers and transform our MSMEs into world-class manufacturers. Now, lean production or lean manufacturing, it is a principle of production that considers that any expenditure of resources for any goal other than creation of value for the end customer is completely wasteful, and such expenditures which are not for this purpose, they should be eliminated. So there are 5 lean principles that have been given, which include defining a value, that is defining or determining what value means from the perspective of a customer. Then mapping of the value stream, creating a map of the sequence of steps required to produce any particular product. Then there is the third, that is creation of a flow, a smooth uninterrupted flow of work through value stream by eliminating bottlenecks and other interruptions that can slow down the whole process. Then there is implementation or establishing a pool that produces products only as they are needed depending upon the customer demand. So we produce only those things which are being demanded. This helps in reducing the inventory and the related waste. Then there is pursuit, strive for perfection by identifying and eliminating all the wastes, improving the processes and ensuring that the end product, it is of utmost quality. So India has launched this scheme under the MSME champion schemes because overall we want to improve the quality of our MSME products and make them globally competitive so that the share in our entire GDP, it increases. So that is all about today's daily quiz. I hope you were able to understand all the concepts discussed over here. So do not forget to like the video, share it and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more such content. Thank you very much and have a very good day ahead.